using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his...
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But
Floyd, yeah, because
Floyd Mayweather challenged Terence Crawford to a fight in 2026. Crawford responded positively, saying he is ready to settle the question of who is the better boxer. Even though Mayweather is nearly 10 years older than Crawford, he issued the challenge because he was frustrated that fans were constantly comparing him to Crawford.
How he played the part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
After his victory, Crawford was asked about fans wanting him to face Floyd since Floyd also wants the fight. He said that if Floyd offers a big payday and the opportunity to face one of the best, he is ready. He added, "Simply okay, I'm in."
I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
Because fans wanted it and two of his former opponents said Crawford was better than him, Mayweather felt he had to challenge Crawford. Many saw this as a big slight against Crawford's accomplishments. Even Shane Mosley, who lost to Mayweather on points 15 years ago, agreed with Canelo that this was accurate.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands.
In a surprising interview with Fight Hub TV, Mosley said he believes Bud Crawford is a better boxer than Mayweather. He added that Mayweather is still very skilled and talented. Mosley noted that Crawford seems to be improving, getting stronger, and moving up in weight. Because of this, he thinks Crawford is better overall. He also said that Mayweather is hard to hit and has many abilities. Even though a fight would have been close, Mosley believes Crawford would have won because he is bigger and has longer reach than Mayweather.
He's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather.
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter.
Fans and experts around the world are already debating whether Bud Crawford is now the greatest boxer of all time after his win over Canelo. The 37-year-old climbed back to the top of the pound-for-pound rankings with a major victory. Before the fight, Canelo had shared his opinion, and after losing, he repeated it, saying Crawford is better than him. At his post-fight news conference, Canelo made headlines by stating that Terence Crawford is a better boxer than Floyd Mayweather. He said, "I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather."
You can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
It's worth noting that Canelo's comment came from someone who has faced both Crawford and Floyd Mayweather in the ring. His bold statement after losing shows either real humility or a true belief in Crawford's clear superiority. The boxing community quickly reacted to what the Mexican star said. Some fans argued that Crawford had moved up multiple weight classes to face tough opponents, while others pointed out Mayweather's perfect record and strong credentials. Terence Crawford himself addressed the topic, saying that Canelo has fought both him and Mayweather. Based on that experience, he believes Crawford is better. He shared this on the Ariel Helwani show, saying there was Canelo in the ring with us both. Anyone can say what they want, but he's been in the ring with us both.
You know, how did that feel to hear that from someone like him?
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, you know, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was at the...
Was ready for the body shots. You know, occasionally the straight right hand to the body would land for Canelo. But, you know, sooner or later, Crawford started getting out of the way of that as well by just pivoting, you know, on the angle and, you know, making Canelo reach. There were spots inside the ring that I saw Crawford, you know.
Since this is a matter of personal opinion, the debate is likely to continue indefinitely. Both Crawford and Mayweather were longtime champions in different weight classes and will be remembered as two of the best American boxers in history. For now, the focus for both is to remain undefeated. That said, there is an interesting discussion about how each of them achieved their perfect records. Boxer Ryan Garcia shared his thoughts on this during a segment of Ring Magazine's Inside the Ring show on September 10th.
You know, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and when he was younger. So, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't go off of that. You know, Floyd is the best fighter, you know, in his era. And
Max Kellerman believes Manny Pacquiao should rank higher than Mayweather on the pound-for-pound list of the best boxers ever. This comment came in response to ESPN's rankings where Mayweather was listed first and Pacquiao second. Earlier this month, former NFL player Lehan Mako said, "Nobody has changed the game like Floyd Money Mayweather in a bad way." Ryan Garcia added that Mayweather is very skilled at knowing when to fight and when to wait. He is the best at making money and arranging big fights. But Garcia argued that all of Mayweather's fights were carefully timed and that he rarely faced opponents at their peak after the junior lightweight division. He said this changed the sport in a negative way and agreed that everyone wants to protect their perfect record.
It's the game like Floyd Money Mayweather.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, he's the best in that game. He's the best in, you know, making money and making all the, you know, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
after junior lightweight. Junior lightweight.
He changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had
a lot of the stuff that Canelo was doing. And, you know, that I would say this, that work from Boots helped in that aspect because Canelo was reacting to a lot of the counters that Crawford was throwing. Usually in the past, you know, Canelo would stand right there. He would lunge and he would stay in place, keep his feet in place. However,
some people are now questioning the rankings because of what Crawford has accomplished recently. These debates are timely since Crawford is at the peak of his career and still competing at the highest level. Max Kellerman, a boxing analyst with decades of experience, discussed the potential Crawford versus Mayweather fight on his show Inside the Ring. He agreed that Mayweather has certain advantages over Crawford, especially in his reputation, defensive skills, and hand speed. There is no doubt that Mayweather's technical ability helped him become one of the greatest boxing champions of all time.
Because, like, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first.
Kellerman also noted that Mayweather became more selective with his opponents after leaving the lightweight division when he faced tougher fighters. He believed Mayweather carefully planned each move. This strategy helped him maintain a perfect record, but it raised questions about whether he really wanted to face opponents in their prime. Kellerman compared this to Crawford, who has shown a clear willingness to fight anyone during his career, highlighting how fans and fighters react differently to this approach.
I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with.
Kellerman pointed out that Floyd's resume is much longer than Crawford's. He was faster, stronger on defense, and very cautious about who he fought after leaving the lightweight division. In contrast, Crawford has shown a willingness to face everyone throughout his career, even with some challenges in his past. Kellerman also compared Crawford to legendary fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson and Roy Jones Jr., noting that Crawford has earned respect in the same way. When a boxer reaches that level, it's not just about records or stats.
A lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in the fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that fight.
Yes, sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah. Boxing fans have pointed out that Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford share many similarities, but that does not take away from the respect Floyd deserves. Crawford looks up to Mayweather, And when asked what they have in common, Mayweather offered a few insights. He is considered a king. Crawford spoke highly of Floyd and recognized just how great he truly is. In some ways, we're very similar, he said, but I take more risks, so we're a little different. Early in his career, he took many chances. Clearly, he was talking about Floyd Mayweather. Whether it was about money or facing tough opponents, Floyd, also called Pretty Boy, aimed to dominate. Later, he injured his hands, which made it harder to maintain the same level of power and forced him to move up and face bigger fighters.
Excuse me, Crawford.
You know, right now, but earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know, it just depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. If you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy.
Crawford said that he and Mayweather are similar in many ways, but fans and followers have long compared the two to decide who is better. Some sources even suggested that Crawford might win if they ever fought. In terms of pure boxing skill, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is unmatched. He combines smart strategy with clean jabs, accuracy, speed, and expert counterpunching to beat every opponent. Crawford noted that Floyd, also called Pretty Boy, was more aggressive early on, taking the fight to his opponents, while Money Mayweather later studied his opponents and defeated them with superior technique. Both styles brought Floyd fame, and fans are still impressed by how well Crawford performed against Spence in his most recent fight.
Reach from the left hooks again. He's a lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him, and then he hit his head off it en masse here at the engine.
Crawford is an excellent boxer who repeatedly broke through Spence's defense with sharp jabs and timed his counterpunches perfectly. Even for a fighter as skilled as Spence, it was impressive. While Mayweather's technique alone is enough to make anyone cautious, Crawford's style is different, effective, and explosive in its own way. If Crawford faced Mayweather at his peak using precise shots against Mayweather's defensive skills, it's hard to predict who would land the first jab or block the best punch. With so many possibilities, the fight could easily be considered a tie. Mayweather often calmed opponents before drawing them into the center of the ring, analyzing quickly and executing a plan to dominate. By following the golden rule of hit and don't get hit, he became an undefeated 5-division world champion and Hall of Famer. Crawford, undefeated as a junior welterweight and now competing at welterweight, has also shown remarkable intelligence and skill inside the ring.
He drops him again. That's a hard knockdown that time with the left hook. How about that? Keeps battling, falling forward. Uppercut. Terence Crawford has stopped.
Mayweather was known for his fast hands, especially when counterpunching late in fights. Crawford, on the other hand, uses sharp angles and a whipping style that makes him just as fast. Mayweather won 50 fights, 27 by knockout. Crawford has 40 wins, 31 by knockout, and is still active. His skill was on full display against Spence, whom he dropped 3 times on his way to a dominant 9th-round TKO.
Comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah. Spence was a powerful puncher and tough on the body, making him a difficult opponent. He earned his place as a joint world welterweight champion by defeating Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Dennis Hugas. Still, Crawford made it look effortless, using his strength to dominate. Mayweather, on the other hand, leaned in the corner, using his shoulder in the Philly shell to block shots while landing punches with his free hand. His defensive style seamlessly turned into counterpunching. Crawford is also skilled at defense, but Mayweather's defense was almost perfect, taken to another level. If Crawford and Mayweather actually fought, it's hard to predict. After a cautious first round to size each other up, Crawford would likely become more aggressive, landing several punches while Mayweather absorbs many on his shoulder and elbow. By the middle rounds, Mayweather's strategy would be clear, and he would hit Crawford with precise jabs and powerful counters in some rounds.
Hook, you want to change you want to hook from the hips. So when you hook, boom, this toe gonna go up and this one gonna go down. So you hear and it's gonna go boom. So you can do a 45 or you can do straight. You come straight from the shoulders, boom. Open it up a little bit, bam. But get that, there you go. So, yeah, so you want to come, everything you do, you want to come from the shoulders, boom. Just turn it. When you coming in there, you hear, boom. And that's where that torque gonna come from. The hips, your legs, all the way up in there.
If the pressure stays consistent, Crawford's power could sometimes challenge Mayweather. Even in a close fight, Crawford's skill and heavy punches might earn him points from the judges for his pressure and punch volume against Mayweather's defensive style. After his career-defining win over Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed title, Terence Crawford remained humble, knowing the boxing world will not let debates about his greatness fade anytime soon.
The fighter and that challenge for him pushed him even harder to train harder and to be better. That challenge, went up against Canelo, moving up to divisions, hearing that people are saying, "Oh, he didn't look too good against Madrimov, so how could he look good at 68?" Well, that motivated more, man. He trained hard. He did.
Many believe this fight would help determine the best boxer since Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. With all due respect to Alexander Usyk, Crawford seemed to achieve just that. He became the 6th male boxer to win titles in 5 different weight classes and the first in 4-belt history to become undisputed champion in 3 of them. Alvarez had been boxing's biggest star over the past decade and the pound-for-pound king until 2022. Crawford's victory not only boosted his financial standing, but, more importantly, elevated his reputation in the sport.
Look at this, it's unbelievable. To young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you're seeing one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. If you're wearing, then he's nowhere. You think you. And again, it's not just hand quickness; it's the movement of the head, the way he rolls with punches, but the way he makes them miss. I mean, here we go. Do a series of punches and nothing really landed. Terrific fighter. Well, Mayweather. All right.
When asked if he shared any similarities with Mayweather, Crawford avoided comparisons. At his post-fight news conference, he said, "Listen, Floyd was the best of his time, and I am the best of my time. You don't need to compare." About 15 minutes later, the conversation heated up when Alvarez, who showed respect for Crawford despite losing, was asked who he thought was the better fighter. At that time, Alvarez was 23 and had previously lost his first professional fight to Mayweather, who was 36.
Work on what you need to work on. Put your head down and grind. You get results like this.
I noticed that when I was watching the fight that Terence Crawford specifically, whichever side that Canelo threw at him, Terence would respond with a shot from that side as well. Did you see that in the tape that you watched of Canelo as a weakness where he was vulnerable to shots at the same side that he threw?
Well, if you go back and look at the fight, you can hear us in the corner saying, when he go wide.
Crawford deserves all the credit. I gave it my all tonight, but I just couldn't match his style. He had an answer for everything. I think Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather, Alvarez said. He added that the debate will continue until they actually fight. That's all there is to it. Whenever new boxing news, highlights, or events happen, we share them on our YouTube channel. So make sure your notifications are on to catch all the updates.